Paris Saint-Germain this season will be a completely different outfit. Pochettino had the pre-season with most of these players, and now he's got the likes of Ramos and Donnarumma, who's on the...
Right for Wijnaldum, Nigel has to go and do what he does do so very well. New man in goal for Brest this evening, this season I should say, is Marco Bizot, signed from AZ. Also had a spell at Genk. And a new left-back, Jere Uronen, who featured at Euro 2020, of course, with Finland.
Yeah, it's good to get some fresh faces in. I just think for that man, he's just trying to gel them into a team, hard to beat, hit on the counter-attack. I think that's the way forward for Brest. But this is going to be a real test tonight about keeping your shape, keeping your concentration, because the movement off the ball from Paris Saint-Germain is going to be superb.
Didn't quite reach Wijnaldum. And wouldn't settle for Mbappe. Crowd scene in that penalty box, they all got in tight. Brest to defend. I think you're quite right, knowing the way Der Zakarian likes to operate, and he's got the free-running Meunier, remembered by Huddersfield fans, of course, but he's made a good return to French football. Very important contribution among the goals last season here for Brest, with 9 in their survival bid.
Yeah, and what he does, he's a willing runner, always putting defenders under pressure, Meunier, and that's what you need, especially the system that they play, which is a 4-2-3-1. Sometimes it's very difficult when you're the lone striker. You need that support from the attacking midfielders to get up and support you.
Whole host of games from France live on BT Sport over this coming weekend. Going into the weekend, PSG one of 3 teams with maximum points from the first couple of games, along with Angers and Clermont. But the idea tonight is to vouchsafe all the 3 points and head back to the capital and watch what happens to the other sides over the course of the weekend. But Lyon and Lille need to pick it up, particularly just a point apiece from the first 6 available. And this, of course, would represent, if they do win here, a much improved start to this campaign compared to last year. And maybe, well, very well closed out first time by Bizot. I was going to say maybe Mbappe was going to set them on the road. Hakimi's looking menacing already tonight.
Well, in the end, I have to say that's a fine save from Bizot at his near post. But look at the movement off the ball. First time, touches, 1 touch, 2 touch. The movement off the ball. Mbappe from deep. That's a good save at the near post.
Business-like beginning here from PSG. All rather in contrast to how they began last season.
Yeah, they were real slow starters last season, weren't they? Change of manager in the end. Pochettino coming in. But great movement. That's a good save. Just stood up big. And Mbappe hit him. But the movement off the ball was superb there. And Paris Saint-Germain's playing a slightly different system tonight. They're playing more of a diamond shape in midfield, which helps Wijnaldum to get forward and get beyond Icardi and Mbappe at times.
Settle look to this Brest side, largely inherited by Der Zakarian from his predecessor, Dall'Olio. New goalkeeper, new left-back. But maybe a different proposition now this season, Nigel, with this crowd at their backs. It's a very small stadium, I know that, but they really get behind their side here.
Well, it's only, what, 15,000 roughly for this crowd, but they're right on top of you. I think sometimes small crowds, when the big teams come and everybody's up for the game, puts a bit of pressure on you. They're going to cheer every tackle. They're going to dispute every decision from the referee. But they've got to stick with their team and encourage them. Because at times, those boys in red have got to be brave and try and play out from the back at times and move those Paris Saint-Germain players around.
Hakimi was caught down the field and he's hammering backwards there. He did get back into position, but the cross didn't come in anyway. That's potentially one area that Brest seek to exploit, and that's where the cross did go eventually. And had that gone first time there, PSG may have had a problem, because nobody was picking up Cardona, wide left.
Yeah, but he should have taken a touch here. There's no pressure on him. No, Hakimi's coming out as a poor ball back in. But Hakimi loves to get forward. Really, he's a wing-back for me, not a full-back. But that means that the midfield players, Herrera and Gay, have got to fill in for him at times when he gets forward. And on the other side, when Diallo gets forward, those two holding midfield players have got to shuffle across and protect those wide areas at time, because that's where the counter-attack will be exposing you.
So it's still Thilo Kehrer and Presnel Kimpembe, the centre-backs for PSG, early in the season. We've just run a crawler there at the bottom of the screen a moment ago, which gave you the PSG starting lineup. What it didn't detail was the substitutes list tonight. So to refresh everybody's memory, all of Donnarumma, Di Maria, Marquinhos, Danilo Pereira and Draxler among the substitutes. Incidentally, there is a little story this evening that Pochettino has allowed Messi to go back to Barcelona for the weekend. Just for the weekend, you understand?
Yeah, but I think, you know, when you're moving from a new club, from another club, from a city that you've lived in for so long, I think sometimes, you know, you leave and you go to another club and you've forgotten things or forgotten to say goodbye to people, you know. So I think that's good, because I've been watching on the internet some of the training sessions that Messi has been doing this week. Him and Mbappe in a five-a-side team were immense. He looks so fit already, I have to tell you. So I'm sure he deserves to go back to Barcelona just for the weekend. Then back in on Monday morning, Paul, like the rest of us.
Compared to the very crowded fixtures for the likes of Monaco, they're trying to qualify for the UEFA Champions League proper, of course. It's certainly a month where Pochettino can put a shape on the project for the challenges ahead.
Yeah, the one thing that Pochettino won't want is that, you know, Messi goes away with Argentina. I think that's why everybody's speculating that he's going to play next Friday night before the international break. Ramos certainly isn't playing before the international break, but I just wonder, because obviously on the back of the Copa winning that, they've got World Cup qualifiers coming up. Venezuela, Brazil, yeah, and Bolivia. 3 tough games, but that Brazil game, they want Messi for that.
No Kurzawa tonight, no Colin Dagba, no Juan Bernat, and no Sarabia either. Talking about 5-a-sides, they could play 14-a-side, 15-a-side in training if everybody's available.
Bernat, I think, the only one probably out of those who's going to feature this season. I think the others, they're trying to move on.
Maybe in that position there. But tonight it's Diallo who's been filling in.
Yeah, and played very well against Strasbourg. Put some lovely balls into the box on that left-hand side.
Kind of fella does Zakaria, you knock him over, he picks himself up, dusts himself down and goes again. And his ambition is certainly to do more than just scrape to safety this time round here at Brest. Really, it ended on a real high at Montpellier. Their best league finish in the better part of 2 decades, 8th, but no job for the future.
That's a strange one, isn't it? Sometimes you don't realise what you've got until you let them go, and that's what he'll be trying to prove here at Brest, that's for sure.
Knows this part of the world very well, of course, Brittany. He played at Nantes before he went to Montpellier in those days, and then he's had, I believe, 2 spells as the Nantes manager.
Well, I think you were telling me that you know him very well. You've actually trained with him, played with him. But one of those characters who never gives in, hard as nails, and that's what he'd be trying to do with his players, get them organised, get them to work hard for each other, never give up, and then you've got a chance against anyone.
That's how he played the game. Guillem Verratti, PSG so happy to have them back in the fold, of course.
Well, that's the big thing for Pochettino, is got so much talent in your squad, but you've got to turn them into a team and keep everybody happy, and that's the hard bit when you have an abundance of talent that you've got at Paris Saint-Germain. And the other side of that is you've got to win everything in front of you as well.
What we've seen early in the season, Nigel, the games for PSG, generally speaking, the opposition know the dazzling array in front of them, and they're not actually panicked into making rash moves. They work very hard on getting into position as they've planned the game and letting PSG come onto them if that's the way it shapes up.
Well, I think that's what Paris Saint-Germain or any top team has got to live with. If you're the top team, everybody wants to beat you, but the game plan is normally we're going to play very deep, even at home, suck you onto us and try and hit you on the counter-attack. And that's what every top team's got to deal with.
And just stay in the game for as long as you can.
Absolutely, but if you look back to last week against Strasbourg, they went 3-0 up at half-time. Second half, came out, thought they'd already won the game, and suddenly it was 3-2, and then a sending off, and then a late goal to make it 4-2. And some of the players looked a little bit off the pace. Not enough mileage in the legs, enough training, and I think when you've had so many players away on international duty, that happens sometimes, and that's why Pochettino is just trying to ease some of the other players back into things.
That's decent from Renan, in terms of the idea, at least, if not quite the execution for Cardona. Pochettino and PSG so mindful that the start to last season meant that they always had a problem. They were beaten on matchday 1 last season by Lens, then they lost at home to Marseille in that infamous fixture. And then only narrowly in the third game did they get the better of Metz, and it was Julian Draxler in the 93rd minute. But it rather set the tone for the league campaign, and of course in the end they ended up losing 8 games. You're not going to win the league like that.
No, you're not, but in the end, you know, they were very close to Lille, and then Monaco in behind them, who got that 3rd place on the last game of the season as well. So it's very tight at the top, but I think overall Lille deserved to win it, and that's no disrespect to Paris Saint-Germain. They started slowly, got better, but didn't haul it right back this season. As you say, they've got to start much better.
Load of Bagway to Hakimi. Herrera, first time. Bounce back off Wijnaldum. Verratti. It's a very nice little float forward and almost for Icardi.
Yeah, good movement. I think Icardi's trying to cushion the header back down for Mbappe there, because he can't get it on target himself and just gets too much on it. Goalkeeper does well, reads the situation.
Laid off by Belkelga. Belkelga restored to the starting lineup by Der Zakarian tonight. The only change by Brest after that late drama here last weekend against Rennes. And 1 or 2 nice little bits of play building up in the wide positions.
Yeah, but that's where you've got to put a better ball in. He's overhit it again. Missed everybody out there. Cardona has got to pick someone out or put it in a bit lower, which gives the defender a problem as well. If you overhit it, it's easy to defend against.
Verratti. Diallo. Franck Honorat back defending that flank. Herrera took a good position. Gave it to Icardi. And back again. Hakimi will get to this, I think. Gets a corner out of it.
Yeah, showing his pace, keeping that ball in. All the big guys will be up again. It's a good little bit of pressure, this, from Paris Saint-Germain.
And back in play quickly. There's an extra tempo to PSG, and it's over the top. There's a very presentable opportunity for Verratti.
Should have done better to at least hit the target. Really should have scored. They just switch off here. They all stay in their positions. You're taught in training to stay there, but when you've got bright players to play against, you've got to mark them. Verratti leaning back on it, puts it over the top. That's a real let-off for Brest.
Would have been a collector's item, Nigel. Last league goal, 2016-17.
Wow. Well, he is normally a more defensive midfield player, I think, but in this team under Pochettino, he wants them all to rotate and get forward when they can. And that's going to be the interesting thing when you get Neymar back, you get Messi in the team, you've got Mbappe in the team, how you actually rotate your midfield, and who's going to be the protective midfield player, because you always need those when you've got so much talent going forward. You always need a defensive midfield players just to plug the gaps when everybody gets caught out of position.
And again, a little bit stretched defensively. PSG in full retreat. Hakimi only now gets into his position. They're looking for a free kick here, Brest, and they're going to get it, and that's against Herrera.
Well, that should be a yellow card for me, Herrera. If we watch this again, he just blocks him off because he knows he's got the run in behind. Blatantly body checks him out of the game. It should be a yellow card. I've seen him do that many a time for Manchester United, Herrera. He's clever at doing it. But referees really should pick up on things like that. Here we go. So he makes the run across him, and then he just barges into him, blocks him off. There you go. That should be a yellow card for me. But this is in a really good position anyway for Brest. Can they make Paris Saint-Germain pay for it?
Very fortunate indeed not to be on yellow for that. The yellow jersey of Keylor Navas. Navas still the starting goalkeeper with Donnarumma on the bench tonight. Mananga and Bok.
Well, not the best of efforts. You can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to whip it with pace. And when you hit it with pace, you lose control of it. He's got to get under the ball and get it up and down over the top of that box and test the goalkeeper. It's Donnarumma on the bench tonight. Sergio Rico left out. But he will be the #1 in the end. And the game last week against Strasbourg, a couple of goals that went right in the corner. And you just wonder if Donnarumma is in goal, who's a much bigger man, 6'6", would he have saved them?
Onoao's in space again. Player wearing 14. The number 15 came onto it. Meunier, it wasn't far away from it. Now it is Cardona. One or two promising moments in the build-up play here from Brest, and it just skips away from Meunier. Nice, tidy bit of football in the build-up there from Romain Favre.
Favre did well, but this is much better. Good movement. He's onside behind Diallo, cuts it back. Good blocking there. I think it's Hakimi coming right across and making the block there. They're starting to ask a few questions, but what they mustn't do, Paul, after nearly 20 minutes in this game, is start bombing forward and leaving the gaps for Paris Saint-Germain to exploit.
Mbappe. Got a bit tight for him with Diallo in front of him. That's the area he likes to go and run into, of course. And now Brest try to run in behind again. Kimpembe across.
Yeah, good defending from Kimpembe. Used his pace and his knowledge of the game.
Nigel, you're the expert. I know we go on and on about what they've got in the attacking areas, but is there a lot of work to be done by Pochettino for when the games, you know, go up a level in terms of defending? They don't have a Ramos on the field, they don't have a Marquinhos on the field, but they do look vulnerable, potentially.
Well, I think that's getting the balance of your team right if you're Pochettino. And you've got, it's not just about the defenders, the shape of the midfield as well to protect those defenders, but when Ramos and Marquinhos are back and fit, I think Hakimi will be at right back, or he could play as a wing back, and they could play three at the back and that gives you a little bit more room to manoeuvre players.
That could be costly. Oh, it rolled right across Icardi, and Bizot was on top of him, the goalkeeper, but that still has to go down as a miss, I think, by Icardi.
I think it's a real miss. Just missed the ball completely. Took his eye off the ball, missed it completely. But you've got to get that balance right in your team, and maybe playing with wing-backs might give them a little bit more adventure to fit all those players into the team.
As mentioned, whole lot of games covered over the weekend here on BT Sport from Ligue. Saint-Etienne Lille is the Saturday evening main match on BT Sport 2. Lille struggling at the start of the season. As are Lyon, they host Clermont. They kick off at midday our time on Sunday on BT Sport 1. Hakimi, full throttle. Not quite.
Yeah, but that's what he gives you, the willingness to run in behind the back line of whoever you're playing against. There's too much on the ball there, and a little bit straight. Hakimi can't get on the end of it.
It was a great scene in the Parc des Princes last week, Nigel. I know you were watching that game for us. Different, but still a little bit special this tonight, isn't it? Packed stadium away from home, as you so often say. And you won the title yourself in your playing days in England and Scotland. It's not on the big days you win the title. It's on the so-called lesser grounds very often.
Absolutely, and you've got to live with everybody who wants to beat you. You can't switch off.
Mbappe. It's crept in, and Ander Herrera's given Paris Saint-Germain the lead here. It wasn't the cleanest of strikes. Bizot got across his line, but he couldn't keep it out.
I just wonder if this hits the post and it comes back and hits Bizot and goes in the back of the net. It might be an own goal, but we couldn't see from our vantage point very well there. But who cares for Paris Saint-Germain? They've gone ahead, and the unlikely scorer, Herrera, taking on the responsibility. Cut back. Mbappe just lays it off. Movement off the ball is superb. As it comes out, he hits it first time, pushes it onto the post and into the back of the net. Really should have done better for me. Bizot, the goalkeeper, should be pushing that round the post, out for a corner. That's a real bad mistake from the goalkeeper.
Strictly one goal a season man, Ander Herrera, and it's come early this season. In fact, the last one he got last season early was at Nantes, also in Brittany. Must be something in the sea air, but it means PSG are in front.
Yeah, he won't mind. That's just what he wanted, to settle things down. Herrera gets the goal.
It's like when you went to Bournemouth on loan as a kid, and that brought out all your goal-scoring potential.
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to score a few goals. Oh. Then I became a defensive holding midfield player. Scored so many then, did I?
Well, the holding midfield player has scored tonight.
Yeah, but the thing is, for Herrera and Gay in there, they're more defensive players, but they're having so much of the ball, you can get forward. We saw Verratti put one over the top, and you said his last goal was, what, 2016? So it's a rarity tonight, Herrera scoring as well.
Fish and chips on the bus, even for the greats going home.
Those are my Liverpool days, absolutely. Ronnie Moran used to come on bus, go into the game and say, what do you want, fish or chicken? And some night just say, hey, pie, and he'd go, really? Yeah. And then we had all the salt and peppers and vinegars on the coach, but that was it, fish and chips.
You get a pie if you win the league.
And maybe a can of something, if you're lucky.
Should settle PSG down, makes the job a great deal more difficult for Brest, who had shown their plan and shown they believed in it under this fellow De Zakaria.
Yeah, I think he'd be disappointed the way the goal's gone in, Paul, because they've defended quite well. They've been switched on. You don't expect your goalkeeper to make a mistake like that. Really should have dealt with it. It wasn't the best of shots, but it has come through a few players, but really still got to deal with it and push it around the post.
Wijnaldum, he's found Hakimi. Hakimi scored at about this juncture, actually, in the first league game. From that position, away to Troyes. I thought he was going to hit that one.
I think he should have hit that one.
Verratti. Favre. Unfortunate own goal, of course, from Favre. Didn't know much about it, but went down as an own goal in the end-of-season meeting last season. Picks this up again. He's a good footballer, this boy. Gives it to Cardona. Onto the right foot. Meunier was trying to creep in behind Kimpembe. Kimpembe tries to get the troops in a line.
I think Brest have watched them, and what happened last week, they were very susceptible to crosses into the box, Paris Saint-Germain. It's only Kimpembe who's putting his head on things.
You've mentioned it already. In this area here, Hakimi seems willing, all too willing, to tuck in and ask Herrera to go and play as the right back, Nigel. And, you know, this diagonal ball to to Cardona wearing 14, that looks on all the time for Brest.
Absolutely, and that's what happens when you play with a back four, and sometimes you play with one centre forward.
See, they're arguing right now. You go here and I'll go there.
Yeah, because tactically they've got to sort out, and none of those players in midfield, the four of them, none of them want to play as a wide player, wide left or wide right. You know, Mbappe will come back and do his bit in there from a striker's position. Icardi wants to play up the middle, but none of those in there, Herrera, Verratti, Wijnaldum or Gay, really want to come out into the wide positions. But obviously if you've got Di Maria playing or Neymar playing, they will play in those positions.
Kimpembe won it well in the air. Time for Brest perhaps to show a little bit of composure, re-establish a foothold in the game. And again, lots of space down their left. Odden encouraged to come forward. Well won by Hakimi. Nobody ever said he wasn't a really top footballer. And of course is a very potent attacking threat. Look, he's on his way already again.
I'm really surprised Real Madrid let him go. He did so well at Dortmund, and we saw him many a time.
Over the shoulder, job done by Brazier.
Then obviously Inter Milan have sold him because they needed the money. And he's going to be a very important signing to give them the balance in that right side position, right back or wing back. And he'll get you a goal as well, and plenty of assists.
Who'd have thought? Inter having to sell.
Yeah, but I think they're not the only club. Barcelona, Real Madrid maybe as well. A lot of them in financial problems.
Should make for a very open season in Italy, I think. I'm looking forward to that on BT Sport this season.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. And obviously with Jose Mourinho going to Roma as well, they fancy their chances as well. Juventus, Allegri back in charge. It's going to be an exciting season. Just like this, everybody wants to beat Paris Saint-Germain. They're finding it tough. They've got that goal, but the rest have done well for 30 minutes here.
Odden. Trying to work a little something with Cardona.
Just looking at Pochettino there, Paul. Do you think he knows when everybody's fit, what his lineup is going to be for the big games?
Putting me on the spot, I'm doubtful. I think his approach is to say, let's get everybody ready, and we'll work from that point. Because how can you fit just in one area of the field? How can you fit all the forwards on the field at the same time? How can you fit all the midfield players on the field at the same time? And maybe the way to do it is to start by saying, right, this is my first choice back line. We'll deal with that first. and then look to who's in form.
Yeah, I think it'll just develop organically over the season, but I think in the Champions League games, in the big games, he's got to get it right.
Yeah. Hakimi. Now Diallo. Positive from him. Mbappe. Well stopped by Chardonnay.
Yeah, Chardonnay did well, just stood up. Wasn't the cleanest of hits from Mbappe, but good movement again. Diallo, who's really grown into that left-back position, played very well last week, getting forward. Mbappe's shot, good defending from Chardonnay.
Mbappe on corner kick duty. You played in Liverpool teams where the policy was always let's try and bring in a top player every summer. So it's part of what it takes, isn't it, to stay on top, to have that level of competition.
Yeah, absolutely, competition for places, and maybe for the coach, different ways to play, but you've got to play within that group in the way the coach wants you. And, you know, I think as they move forward, you might find that Mbappe plays up front on his own and you play three in behind, maybe Neymar, Messi, Di Maria.
Now Wijnaldum, Hakimi with a little bit more room. It looks ominous for Brest. Pound away by Bizot. Hacked clear in the end, further forward, but it's going to come back, I think. Omaraz down.
Yeah, Hakimi does well again. Feints to go on his right foot, brings it back on his left foot, goes for that far corner. Bizot makes a good save. He's onside here, cuts back on the left, goes for the far corner, good save. And the clearance, and there's a foul there. But again, he plays like a right winger, doesn't he, Hakimi? Loves to get forward. I think Mbappe just wanted it laid back to him on the edge of the box on the 6-yard line there.
On your previous point, I prefer to be Paris Saint-Germain than Bayern Munich. When Bayern Munich lost Lewandowski to injury last season, that really put their Champions League hopes on the skid. And if you've got too many players, it's better than not having enough.
No, Lewandowski, goal-scoring machine. I can't believe he's not in the top list of players this year for the Ballon d'Or. After a brilliant season the year before, which, you know, he should have won it. And this season he's not in it. And I think if he'd stayed fit, Bayern Munich would have got to the final. He's that important. But in this team now, you've got, obviously, Mbappe who can score goals. You've got Icardi who can score goals. I don't think Icardi will be in the team once the likes of Messi and Neymar are back. And they can all score goals.
Another stoppage, and this is an opportunity for us to remind you about more of the live games on our network over the weekend. Bordeaux, an indifferent start. Angers made a flying start. They meet on Sunday at 2 p.m. BTSPORT 1 HD. And in this part of the country, actually, Rennes meeting Nantes on Sunday on our ESPN channel.
But I think you also got to credit Paris Saint-Germain hierarchy for the business they've done. You know, Donnarumma on a free transfer, Ramos on a free transfer, Wijnaldum on a free transfer, and then obviously the surprise of all, Messi on a free transfer. It's been amazing business that they've done. And then they're talking about Paul Pogba for next season.
As you rightly said, the ambition is to claim all the available trophies. There's no League Cup anymore in France. That was a competition that PSG were dominating in latter years. They lifted the Coupe de France last season, of course, but it was only a consolation prize for the other disappointments. That will not be good enough this season.
No, absolutely won't be good enough. They've got to win everything in front of them. The most important of those is the Champions League. And they're going to have plenty of past winners playing in their team this year, which might give them the edge. Been there, seen it, done it, got the T-shirt.
Mbappe looking for Hakimi, headed down by him. Wijnaldum had the first attempt, and it's the second goal of the night, and what a finish that is as Mbappe picked up the pieces. He started to play and he finished it off.
Absolutely brilliant from that young man. I just love watching him play. In his enthusiasm, he plays it to Hakimi, but he doesn't give up on it. He doesn't admire his pass. He thinks, I'm going to get in there in case there's a half a chance, and it was half a chance. Here he is, he picks it up in that space there, intelligent play. Hakimi heads it back across. I think it's Wijnaldum there who gets the shot blocked, but following in Mbappe, and that's a real controlled finish on his head. Comes out to him, picks his spot. Absolutely brilliant. 2-0 Paris Saint-Germain.
Even without the others, we all love to watch him strutting his stuff. The ardour of the crowd here in Brittany quelled somewhat. Paris Saint-Germain have shown their teeth. They stormed into a 3-goal lead, of course, against Strasbourg, and then Strasbourg found a way to come back and put them under some pressure, but can Brest do the same tonight?
I think they're finding it very difficult now, Brest, because all those players in blue just need to keep the ball and move them around. And then they know the more they come out and try and attack the ball, squeeze the ball, the spaces are left for Icardi, for Mbappe, Hakimi getting forward as well. Very difficult now for them.
Extravagant touch by Verratti. Diallo. Here is Icardi. Tilokera. Not just the crowd, but the Brest players look a bit subdued now, Nigel, don't they?
They do. Everything's gone flat for them. It 0-0. They looked right in the game, even at 1-0. They still believed, but I think once that second's gone, it's really taken the stuffing out of them. Everything's gone flat.
Mbappe again.
Yeah, little nutmegs, and then he should have played it right to Hakimi. He took the shot on, he's off balance over the top. Hakimi was waiting for it. It's right-hand side here. Slide me in.
"27 league goals last season. His best in Ligue 1 so far, 2018-19, 33 in that season. Only an Mbappe would be disappointed with 18, which was the year between those two. 18, not good enough.
Well, but, you know, when you're playing with top players who are also scoring goals, Ibrahimovic, Cavani, you know, and Neymar, to get 18 goals is still tremendous from maybe a wide position rather than a more forward
How many is he
position.
creating for others?
Yeah.
Did that against Strasbourg last week, didn't he?
He did, but he always wants the ball. He's always positive.
Verratti mopped it up. Meunier looking a little bit forlorn just at the moment. So good at that, Verratti, isn't he?
Yeah, he reads the game well, gets back, helps out his defenders, and that's why I just think when everybody's fit, that Verratti maybe plays a more defensive role in front of the back four, where he likes to get on the ball anyway, But I think instead of making little runs forward, he'd sit in there and protect the back four.
It's not easy being Pochettino, asked every other press conference about Mbappe. Well, where's he going to play next season? Well, we hardly started this season, number one. And number two, I think he's already growing a little tired, Pochettino, understandably, of saying at every question he's totally focused on the job at hand. But that's the way he plays the game, and apparently works during the week. I'm here to play football now.
Yeah, and you've got to enjoy it. I mean, when you're 22, you should be enjoying every moment. You're privileged to be playing for such a great club, playing professional football. And Mbappe, I just think, is a great example. I have to tell you a little story. When Paris Saint-Germain played Liverpool at Anfield, and they went there the night before the game to train, all the staff said what a delightful young man he was.
Meunier held it up nicely. Oh, that's a bit of invention which could produce something for Brest. It does! Beautifully stroked home by Honora, and they're back in the game, Brest. Navas beaten.
What a brilliant goal. Down this left-hand side, lovely ball in, little flick round the corner, and a wonderful finish. Not sure if Navas could do much about it. That's a brilliant finish.
Not very good timing, though, I'm afraid, by Navas, with Donnarumma watching on from the bench tonight. Meunier on the drive. Really clever pass by Favre again. He's had some great touches tonight, and it's through. Navas needs to do better than that, Nigel, surely.
Well, it goes under him, doesn't it? It's that position just there where you can't get your arm down as a goalkeeper, but I think questions will be asked of Navas there, as they were last week, asked about the couple of the goals he didn't get to. But that's brilliant for Brest, just before half-time. But now they mustn't give anything else away.
And as per last week, a handsome lead built by PSG, looking extremely comfortable. And then the opposition find a way to put the ball in their net.
Yeah. And I think if you're a Ramos watching this, or a Messi, who don't like to lose, even in a five-a-side game, they'd be asking their defenders, where were you, what you're doing? You can't do that. We want to win things. And that's why they've been brought in, especially Ramos. Donnarumma, he won't like getting beat from there either.
They have not convinced defensively tonight, as good as they've been going forward.
Well, they didn't against Strasbourg as well. The header between the two centre-backs last week, Kehrer and Kimpembe, looked really vulnerable from wide balls coming into the box, even from set plays. But those are things that, Pochettino's got to work on. It's all right, attack, 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 but you've got to tighten up defensively if you want to be really successful at the very highest level. You might get away with it in Ligue 1, but you won't get away with it in the Champions League.
Kehrer won the argument there, got the free kick.
He played for it, but got it.
There's Zakaria gesticulating. I think he wants to keep PSG as far away from goal as possible. Different set of circumstances going in, a goal behind as against two, quite honestly, and might give a different tenor to his team talk. On we go with Diallo. Bizot might have put two hands on that, but he punched it. I'm not sure it's been the greatest half of the goalkeepers here tonight, one way and another.
I think the sign of a goalkeeper like Navas is having nothing to do, and when you're called upon, you've got to make the save. It's all about concentration, the same as the two centre-backs. Concentration. You might get called upon to make one interception or one save, you've got to do it. The other one, Bizot, was playing well until the first goal, where he should have pushed it around the corner, pushed it onto the post and in the back of the net.
One additional minute. Mbappe right in front of the PSG Ultras. Rescued by Herrera. Guay to Verratti. It's great the way he interacts with the crowd, and as you mentioned to our viewers earlier, you know, he made such an impression, I know, at Anfield when he went to play there against Liverpool.
Yes, and I think he enjoyed being at Anfield as well with the crowd. They really gave him a great reception, but everybody around the ground was saying what a nice young man he was, spoke English as well, took photographs of people. Some other players didn't want to do it, but he did everything he was asked. Left a very good impression at Anfield.
He's left his impression on this match already, but more needed from PSG.
Votre spécialiste fenêtre vous souhaite une excellente deuxième période.
Stadium announcer just made a little reference to the kind of atmosphere this place can generate. And Brest seek to do that. Favre immediately onto his left foot.
I have to say that was a really good chance. That should have hit it first time, or played it to his right-hand side.
Icardi will be brought back.
I think there was a little push in there, Paul. Pulls him back there.
Zakaria made just one change to the starting lineup after the draw against Rennes here last week. Belkalba back in midfield. Largely the side he inherited from his predecessor, Olivier Delalio. Chardonnay and Brazier have been busy in the first half. Hakimi spinning that one into a dangerous area.
Yeah, with Wijnaldum trying to get in there behind the defenders. We didn't see much of him in the first half, Gini Wijnaldum.
New role for him tonight. Not gone awfully well, really. Maybe second half will be better for him. Verratti and Gueye restored, of course, by Pochettino in that midfield. Corner claim by Verratti. Nicely picked up by Bizot. Hakimi with his left foot. Certainly travelling.
Yeah, just opened up for him, lovely. First touch, second touch, the shot. Some good hands there from Bizot. And gives his confidence a bit of good at the start of this second half, the goalkeeper.
So we're not seeing Ramos, nor Neymar, nor Messi. Messi reportedly on his way to Barcelona for the weekend.
Yeah, I don't think they want to take any chances with Ramos with that calf injury. It's been playing him up for a few months, and they really want to get that right now because they want to get him in the team and stay in the team.
On the bench tonight for PSG, Draxler, Danilo Pereira, Di Maria, as well as Gianluigi Donnarumma.
Oh, it's great strength in depth, but I'm sure that Pochettino would like to move some of those fringe players, squad players out, because sometimes you can just have too many players in the club and you've got to deal with all of that. And really, if you're a manager, you want basically two teams and deal with those. The others, you really just need to go somewhere else. And I think they want to get a little bit of money in, but it's who will come in for those fringe players that Pochettino doesn't feel is going to be really instrumental in his squad going forward this season.
Here's Wijnaldum, one of the new arrivals. Explain that role, not dissimilar to a role you played at times in your career, Nigel. Wijnaldum tonight. We know how good he's always been at running from midfield into the forward areas, but he's starting in a more forward area tonight. Does it suit him?
Well, not by what we've seen. He's trying to get in. It's really what you call the pivot in the head of the diamond. You have a holding player, you have a more attacking player, and the other two that tuck in a little bit. And I think he gets stood in there. Instead of running from deep into the spaces, he's actually stood in there, and then you're easy to mark, and you can squeeze the game as a back four or a defender. I think he's got to learn that role. Whereas at Liverpool, he was, you know, momentum all over the pitch, closing people down, because that's what Liverpool played, the high press, and that suited him.
But very much as part of a three. Tonight, with top players, Verratti and Gueye back in the side, they are the two defending midfield players.
Yeah, but going forward, as we said, how it evolves and the way that Pochettino eventually plays, and fitting Messi, Neymar, Mbappe into your team, maybe even Di Maria, I think in midfield you're really looking at players who are going to be more defensive and do a job defensively. Now, Verratti, Wijnaldum, are they going to become the holding midfield players? We'll have to wait and see. Or he changes the system and plays three at the back. But he's got an abundance of talent, but he's got to mould them into the team.
I think I did mention that Di Maria's on the bench tonight, but if I left him out, apologies. And also Marquinhos waiting to come back. The boss.
Well, he's the captain of the team. Is he going to remain that? I'm sure he will do. Ramos and Messi coming in the team, both captains. But I think Marquinhos at times has played as that holding midfield player in front of the back four as well, but I think he's far better as a defender, as a centre-back. Yeah, that was a late challenge. Dived in, really. Brazier. It's a yellow card.
The referee, Eric Wattellier, did let one or two go early on.
Yeah, I think that's a sore one for Icardi, that one.
Verratti, he was looking at for Mbappe there, didn't quite drop for Kimpembe. Let's see if he can weave a little bit of magic. Goes over, brushed off the ball really by Pierre Gabriel, fair enough. Now Romain Faivre comes away with it. Oh, he's stopped in his tracks by Verratti.
Well, that should be a yellow card, and it is. But Verratti saying, well, it should have been a foul on Kimpembe.
Yeah, I can see that argument, but your argument previously, Nigel, here, Verratti gets that yellow card for the identical challenge early on in this game by Herrera, who was not booked.
Yep, and that's where you want to be. You want the consistency from the referee as a player. He's not consistent. You can just see that, just blocks him off. Really good skill from Favre. Verratti was going, well, only the ball is going past me, not the ball and the player. Only one was getting past him. Takes a yellow for the team. There is Marquinhos and Di Maria. I wonder if they fancy coming on tonight.
Pierre Gabriel. Swept in by Honorat.
Yeah, not the best of crosses. Easy for Navas, that one, just what he needed, Navas. And done much in the second half. Got beaten by that shot from Honorat, which really should have done better with.
I say again, Friday night football with a crowd, and I know it's not the biggest crowd we've ever seen, but it feels good and sounds pretty good here in the Stade Francis Leblay. They're playing a part in this Brest tonight, seeking to claw their way back into it for what will be a great result for their club. They're not long established top flight material, only re-promoted to the top division, having finished second to Metz in Ligue in 2018-19. 14th and 17th in the 2 seasons back in the top flight, but seeking to make a few headlines tonight.
But you're absolutely right, under the floodlights on a Friday night, a night game. Paris Saint-Germain, the biggest club in France, or the most successful at the moment, in recent history anyway, is coming to town. You want to be there. And if you get a draw out of this, it's going to be a fantastic result. Great weekend for Brest. But still a long way to go.
2 draws to start the season for the home side. Very, very good result at Lyon, 1-1. And then here against Rennes, where they just kept going to the very end and got a stoppage time leveller. Man who got their goal tonight is Franck Honorat, and the crowd gets behind him. Well played, Kimpembe.
Yeah, Kimpembe did really well getting back, protecting that near post, but again, it's in the full-back position. In the first half, it was all down that left-hand side, where Brest were getting in behind Hakimi, who was playing it right back. This time, it's down the other side, and sometimes they get caught out of position, the 2 full-backs. They need to work on that.
Brest with plenty of bodies behind the ball. Guay. Round the corner by Verratti. Van Aldum, again, nowhere to go. Under Herrera. Uranen stops Hakimi.
You're just talking about that going into Van Aldum there, and then he goes backwards. If you're playing against a Messi, a Neymar, and Mbappe, their first thing is, I'm going to take you on. The first touch, and then I'm at you. As a midfield player, it's more of a going backwards rather than going forwards.
Verratti back to Diallo. Muscular challenge by Chardonnay on Mbappe. They've kept it. Well, he's snapping away at him well. He's so good at that. Goes to ground now, and he has got a free kick.
Yeah, it's a dangerous place to get a free kick away as well. Get a competitive in there. Made the most of it, I have to say, but the referee's given the free kick. Now Kimpembe will be up, Kehrer will be up. Icardi will be in there. That man scored a few headers as well in his time, important goals.
Could he put himself on the map here tonight? Mbappe is taking free kicks and corners. He's punching everything and not catching very much, this goalkeeper, Bizot. Herrera. Hakimi. Kimpembe. 5 in the box for PSG. The cross didn't come.
They're keeping their shape well at the moment, Brest. Just got to keep their concentration, keep nothing more away. Still half an hour to go in this game, Paul. They're still right in it.
Mentality is hang on in there, folks, if we can. Keep it tight. We'll get a chance eventually. They've created 1 or 2 tonight already. In addition to that fabulous goal that they worked. PSG need to be watchful.
Yeah, I just wonder when Pochettino starts to think, well, I need to make a couple of changes here. You know, you've got Draxler, you've got Di Maria on the bench as well. Going to change the formation around a little bit. Cause some problems for Brest.
Heading into the last 30 minutes. Saint-Etienne and Lille set to meet tomorrow evening in Ligue. It's live for you, 7:45 BTSPORT 2 HD. And on Sunday, Lyon are at home to Clermont. That's an early start, midday, BTSPORT 1 HD. Lyon and Lille, poor starters actually in this league this season. Point apiece. Lille, the defending champions, the side that denied PSG their title. Hakimi. Here's Van Alden again, and it's back to goal, and he's forced back again, Nigel. It's one of the themes of the night, really, at the moment.
Yeah, but sometimes when you get forced backwards, you want to play the ball quickly, play it, and then make another angle or run in behind. When you take the extra touch, you get closed down, you get squeezed, everything gets squeezed down. And sometimes it's not just about the understanding of the game, it's about doing things quickly with your mind. So if it comes in me, I'm going to pop it off and get in behind. That's what top-class players do.
Kimpembe. Diallo pulls away to this left flank. Verratti. Brest's pattern is well set. Meunier's the one they'll try to get running the other way if they do win the ball back, but he's also very deep at the moment, Steve Meunier. Verratti trying to squeeze past a couple, helped on by Herrera. Hakimi. The corner count is mounting, but not a lot of real goal threat from these so far in this second half. He stopped here by Uranen.
Yeah, just hits him in the face and goes out for the corner for Paris Saint-Germain, but Paris have got them boxed in at the moment. They can't get out pressed, and it's Steve Meunier, when it does go up top, to get hold of the ball or get a foul to relieve the pressure on the team.
Mbappe again. Just a shade too much on it for Kimpembe. Herrera made an angle. Diallo.
They just need a bit of tempo in their game, don't they? Really up the passing and the movement at the moment, Paris Saint-Germain. It's all a little bit one-paced.
Interesting point you made about some of the so-called fringe players and the ones struggling with injury at the moment, Nigel, but at any level, how do you manage a situation where you're coming to very close to the end of the transfer window and you suddenly call in a player and say, look, you can move on? And it's the first the player's heard of it, with 10 days to go or a week to go before the end of the transfer window. Player may turn around and go, well, if you'd have told me in May, different story. I'm not going anywhere.
Correct, and that's the problem when you've got players under contract and they don't want to leave, or you don't give them time to leave, go to the right clubs, then they've got every right to stay. And on the other hand, you look at the Harry Kane thing at Tottenham, he's still got 3 years on his contract, but if it comes down to the final day or final couple of days of the transfer window, what are Man City going to do? What are Tottenham going to do? And it's the same for these players at Paris Saint-Germain. When you're at a big club, but you're not really in the plans, you want plenty of time to make sure you're going to the right club.
That's the key point, surely. I think Pochettino would understand that. There's a carry and wants a foul here. I think Brest are going to get one. Honor has the player down. And Mbappe gets the yellow card.
Well, I'd like to see that again. I think there was an awful lot in that one, but... talking to him, saying, come on, get up.
I think one of the Brest. '84 European Championship winning side sadly missed out on the actually. Tino would know very, very well. Jose Luis Brown, who actually scored in did the job. May have been an offside, but it was a close call.
Yeah, but he wasn't to know that, Navas. That's a really good save. But the movement in behind, as you can see, he's offside there, but Kehrer gets back and then dives in. Really, if a defender dives in like that, you go down trying to get the penalty, but it wouldn't have counted anyway.
I'd love to have seen it from the square-on angle, because Diallo seemed to me to be behind the other three PSG defenders. And now he's got to turn around and run back on his side, which he does.
He did well, read the situation, showed a good turn of pace as well. But they're having a go, Brest. I mean, they're coming up to 70 minutes, they're still right in this game. One mistake or one bit of brilliance. But I think also the French league do give young players a chance to come into some of these smaller clubs and develop and get sold on. And that's what a lot of these players are hoping to do here at Brest, develop their games and then move on to bigger clubs.
Julian Draxler, he was on your mind and now he's going to be on the field very shortly. Jesus Perez is just giving him his instructions.
Yeah, it scored last week. That little third goal at the back post from Mbappe's cross. Draxler just came in, tapped it in. And they could do with another goal here and make it 3-1. Maybe that's why Pochettino's looking to bring Draxler on. It's all gone a little bit flat again.
Kimpembe. Two more of the live games on BT Sport from Ligue 1 this weekend. Bordeaux-Angers. Angers going into this weekend on top of Ligue 1. That's first up on Sunday, and then it's Rennes against Nantes from 4 p.m. That's on our ESPN channel. Bristol letting PSG have it and asking PSG to break us down. No arguing about the corner count, but not many threatening moments from them so far. Wijnaldum won this one. And it's going to be Verratti. Verratti obviously working his way back after his summer break, belated summer break. Julian Draxler on for him.
Yeah, I think that's a good 70 minutes under the belt for Verratti. Draxler, good sub to bring on, isn't it? He's got a bit more height as well, which from the set plays might give them a little bit more of a threat, because they haven't been much of a threat, have they, from the corners and free kicks so far.
President watching on alongside Leonardo. Let's see if he pulls Wijnaldum back into a more orthodox midfield role now, I wonder. Herrera scurries after it. He's got Belkelba for company. Gueye.
Wow.
There's no way in the world that should go in the net, but that is what has happened. And Idrissa Gueye has beaten Bizot from what? Only maybe 15 yards inside his own half. And another huge question over Brest's new goalkeeper this season, but no arguing that Gueye has done it and restored PSG's lead.
Well, it's an amazing strike. Nobody comes out to close him down, but from that distance, you're absolutely right. The goalkeeper, Bizot, has got to save it. Just as with the first goal, he should have pushed it round the post this time. He really should push this round the post again. Look at the space here, no pressure. Go on, hit it from there. You're not going to beat our goalkeeper. Oh, yes, I am. I think it actually goes through his hands. Let's look from this angle. Dives for it. Gets his hands there and it goes right through him. That's a disaster for Brest. They were right in this game. And their goalkeeper has thrown another one in.
With so many eyes on him tonight. Well played, Gueye. If you don't hit them, you don't score them. But an unlikely scorer from any range, especially from that range. But a big night in the career of Marco Bizot, and I'm sorry to say he has not covered himself in glory at all.
No, I think the Dutchman's had a poor night. As I said, the first goal, the third goal. And I think if you're a Brest player out there, you're looking and saying, we've given them 2 goals.
Immediately, Des Zakaria has responded by sending on Ladourin, who got a goal last week, of course, to level it late on. Jeremy Ladourin. He is a sub par excellence, 21 sub appearances last season. And Belkelba also sacrificed for Ugo Magnetti. It's a sickener for the outfield players. It's a sickener for the coach as well.
Well, it's a sickener for everyone. You know, you work so hard and then your goalkeeper throws one in and then he throws another one in. This crowd really were getting behind Brest. At 2-1, they were right in this game, and then suddenly a shot from what, 30, 35 yards, meters. It's in the back of the net. That was really poor from the goalkeeper. And it's always difficult as a coach when you bring in a new goalkeeper. You put him in and then he makes a couple of mistakes like that.
They also signed Grégoire Couder, a youngster from Amiens. His hopes have just risen, I think. And their more experienced, established goalkeeper, Gauthier Larsonneur, on the bench tonight. Don't think he would have welcomed Bizot to the club in the first place.
No, but it's that old goalkeepers union as well, isn't it? They all stick up for each other, but really you want to be the number one, you want to be playing. The new goalkeeper comes in at the age of 30 from Holland, and he's number one, but maybe not for much longer, unfortunately for him.
Larsonneur played 35 league games last season.
Yep. Well, you want competition for places. You want a young goalkeeper, 2 experienced goalkeepers there. But the coach has got to get it right. What the next game will be against Strasbourg. That's going to be a big game. If they lose this one after 2 draws, they need to get something out of that game. You have to make some big decisions.
See, it's not just Pochettino who's got a headache in that department.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen. You know, once everybody's fit at Paris Saint-Germain, you know that Donnarumma is going to be your number one, and then it's what happens with Navas. Then do you sell him on before the window, or do you leave it till the end of the season? That might end up being Navas's decision.
Cut out by Ronel Pierre-Gabriel. Steered around the corner by Meunier to Honorat. Goes away from Diallo very elegantly indeed. And Navas at least keeps it out, but that wasn't entirely convincing either.
Well, but he should have scored those right at him. That's really good play down this right-hand side. Honorat cuts it back, and from that distance, you've got to be putting that in the corner. It hits it straight at the goalkeeper, off his knee. Fortunately for Navas, it's come out.
Maybe, dare I say, fortunate for PSG that it went to the fullback, who did brilliantly to get in there, but, you know, Meunier wanted it. Others were arriving as well.
Yeah, but you've still got to come onto it and bend it into that corner, to the goalkeeper's right-hand side from that distance, but could have been right back in it once again.
Time for Di Maria.
Yeah, a little run out. Now it's 3-1. Maybe 10, 15 minutes with added time.
Looking for Icardi. Herrera launched it. Just a sense that spaces are opening up again now with the scoreboard at 3-1, and Bizot was taking a little liberty there, the goalkeeper.
Took far too long, didn't it? Got away with it.
Gabriel Ronel. Perhaps looking for a free kick. On we go with Gueye. Mbappe. Magnetti slid in. Honorat. That eludes Favre. Kimpembe.
They're just slowing it down now, trying to drag Brest out. They know the game's won. Sort of just about those fitness levels now, Paul. More miles in the bank. I think that's why Di Maria is going to come on in a minute as well. They've had Verratti played 70 minutes, getting all these players up to speed before they go away on international duty.
So to beat Brazil again with Argentina, of course. Mbappe of France is going to be withdrawn at this stage. Animated the performance in the first half. Fabulous headed goal tonight. And the player coming on, Angel Di Maria, back in Liga for the first time in 2021-22. He signed off with one of the great moments in his career, getting the winner for Argentina against Brazil in the Copa America. And winning it for Messi, of course.
Yeah, and the first thing they've won, isn't it? It's massive for Argentina, and beating Brazil in the final. I think he'd go down in folklore for that.
Made Pochettino very happy as well, no doubt.
Yeah, Argentinian as well. Maybe he will one day be the manager of the national team as well. But for now, he's got one of the best jobs in football. Paris Saint-Germain coach with all this abundance of talent. Can he make it work?
Favre. Just that one chance in this second half. I guess in the final analysis tonight, Nigel, if it ends with a PSG victory, Brest can point fingers at the goalkeeper, but they actually have not created enough chances to win the football match so far, have they?
No, they haven't, but, you know, if your goalkeeper doesn't, you know, throw the first goal in, he should have pushed it around the post, he pushed it onto the post and in the back of the net. You know, those first goals are so important. And Paris Saint-Germain got it, looked comfortable, got 2-0 up, and then Brest have kept working hard, got a goal back, and then given another goal away, which is a big mistake from the goalkeeper again.
There's the other goalkeeper, and there's the man who's got a decision to make now.
Yeah, but I think there's signs there for the coach that, you know, he's got some hard-working players out there. He's got some talent in the team as well, especially the likes of Favre. Meunier really does lead the line very well. But you can't throw goals in against any team, let alone the top team in the country.
Little bit of an oddity for Brest, actually. When they were promoted to the top flight, season 19-20, they got 34 points and finished 14th. Last season, they got 41 points and only just survived in 17th. Would have been the relegation playoff spot otherwise.
Yeah, but we were saying before, you know, the big thing for clubs like Brest is just staying up. They're successful. I know people want to say you want to finish mid-table away from that relegation zone, but staying up is success.
But in order to do that, what I'm trying to say is that, as you well know, Nigel, you've set a target of points, because if we get that many points, we're very likely to be safe. They got 41 and they were hanging on last season.
Yeah, but you get some seasons like that, don't you? You know, where, especially with the pandemic and everything, and as you touched on, no crowds. Teams maybe play a little bit better with no crowds, or players play better with no crowds, and now we're back to a little bit of normality. You've got to do it under pressure.
Sense of disappointment in the crowd, not censorious, not turning against their team by any means. They really get behind them here. Very proud of their Breton heritage, what this football club means to the area. But it has gone a little flat at the moment. Maybe now it can change with Meunier. Yes! Just like last week, Paris Saint-Germain cannot shake off the opposition. Brest are back in touch. Well finished by Steve Meunier. Huge contribution by him when he came from Huddersfield. 9 goals in there. Battled to stay in Ligue 1 last season, and a goal tonight against PSG.
Yeah, but nobody pressurizes the ball. It comes with it a long way. And then look at the marking. They're all ball watching. Kimpembe just watches the ball. Meunier pulls round the back, and it's a good first touch, which opens the goals up for him, and he doesn't disappoint. Hard and low through the goalkeeper, Keylor Navas, and they're right back in this game again. But again, defensively, Paris Saint-Germain all over the place. No pressure on the ball, ball watching, and they've been punished.
Jean-Kevin Duverne for Ronald Pierre Gabriel. There's a bit more go forward, I think, about Duverne.
Oh, looking at this, Icardi felt he should have had a free kick there. I don't think there was a free kick there, and then he's dived and he's landed right on the top of his shoulder, giving himself an injury.
That can be a very painful one as well.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about all the star names. Arnaud Calamwendo. (19 years of age). He is a striker. Pochettino gives him another little taste of it. He did very well, apparently, at Lens last season, on loan. Actually scored against Brest. Everybody's trying from distance now.
Yeah, Di Maria with his first attempted goal. They're just running out of time here. It's going to be a big last 10 minutes with the added time, I feel.
First, they've got to defend properly, PSG, and that's off Diallo, and it's a Brest corner, and now we hear the Breton roar.
Well, they're giving it a right go, asking questions. Here we go again.
Quickly back in play with Favre. Blocked by Guay, he was watchful, he did well. Diallo's trying to force Brest backward. Magnetti, up tempo, now it has to be by Brest. That wasn't a very good one. Di Maria, who's brilliant on these counter-attacks, isn't he? He seems to have a plot in his mind. It's another mistake by the goalkeeper, but he gets away with it offside.
Yeah, it was just offside, but Di Maria, I mean, if you watched him at Man United, you thought, what was all the fuss about? But at Paris Saint-Germain, he's been absolutely sensational.
It was Julian Draxler offside, and now they must track back again. Favre goes on and on.
Oh, just that final ball, Favre that time.
Favre's backed himself all night to take on people, make things happen for Brest. Duverne. Switch left by Chardonnay to Brassier. Oronen. You rightly said, Nigel, last week they flagged a bit in the second half, PSG. With the Brest flags flying all around us, they've got to find a bit more here. Duverne's cross. Miscue, still got to defend it and clear it. They do that, PSG, Wijnaldum. That was a weary-looking attempt, wasn't it, by Wijnaldum?
Yeah, some of the players look really tired in those blue shirts now, having to defend. And Brest's really having a go, but can they cut out a really good chance here?
Maybe now. Honora gets to it. PSG seeking to regroup again. Deflection on it. One or two little appeals there. Look at De Zakaria, it's a full-blooded appeal.
You can see when they're getting down the right-hand side, there's not enough players getting in the box. You know, there's lots of blue shirts, not enough red. A bit of movement in the end, and it's a good header. Just hit Kehrer.
Just got himself organised in time, Kehrer. That rickety back line surely is going to need to be rebuilt by Pochettino. And caught out again. Honorat goes on against Diallo. Well played, Diallo. Kimpembe did wake up to the threat, admittedly, but suddenly it's all Brest.
Yeah, Diallo did well in the end, just getting the toe in. They're asking a few questions here.
More than a few, and I'm not sure PSG have got all the answers. Drax have got a small piece of it. In it comes again. Navas. Just about. And now Di Maria on the counter again. Times that well. And goes on. Angel Di Maria on his return. That one will finish it. Classic counter-attacking goal. There are a few players in the world who can do that as well as Angel Di Maria. He just seems to know and read it even before the ball reaches him. How to do the job and go all the way. And that does the job for PSG tonight.
Absolutely, but it's from a ball into the box and then the header out. And suddenly, from this point, Navas's punch and they're away. There's nobody on the edge of the box. Di Maria does well, but Hakimi's ball is absolutely brilliant. Over the top, but the goalkeeper gets caught in no man's land. He's not really come out far enough or stayed back on his line. If he stays back on his line, Di Maria's got to take a touch, but this time he sees him way off his line. It's a brilliant finish, but the goalkeeper gave him all the goal to aim at, and that's the game over for Brest. Paris Saint-Germain, another 3 points.
4-2 again, as it was against Strasbourg.
Yeah, they certainly entertain you.
I don't think Pochettino finds it very entertaining. That's what he did at Tottenham so well when he took over. He made them very, very sound defensively. He has got to do that, hasn't he?
Well, you get Marquinhos back in and Ramos back in, you're going to be better anyway. But it's going to be the shape which is going to interest me when they're all for the big games. Is he going to play a 3 at the back? Is he going to play a 2 at the back? Because I think they get caught out in the full-back positions so much, Paris Saint-Germain.
Magnetti. I think you really touched a nerve there, Nigel, mentioning Manchester United and Di Maria. Their supporters must be thinking the same thing. It was very sad. He had a difficult time away from football, didn't he?
Yes, he
in
did.
that period of his life.
Yeah, but he's not the only one who's gone to Manchester United and it's not worked out for them in recent years. But he's really enjoyed it in Paris, as he did at Real Madrid, and he's a top-class player and still is exceptionally fit.
So nicely done to Herrera. Telemundo is trying to run in behind.
Yeah, good defending from Chardonnay, coming across, reading the situation. But it's been a really good game, entertaining, really good skills at times, some good goals, some poor goalkeeping. We've had everything tonight. Friday night football under the floodlights.
Very well summed up, Nigel, thank you. Ultimately, it means Paris Saint-Germain 3 straight wins to start 2021-22. That sounds good, doesn't it? It suggests lessons learned from last season's poor start. Pochettino and PSG setting the pace at the top of Ligue 1. But it was a patchy performance against a gutsy Brest side, built in the manner of their coach, Der Zakarian. Long range goals from Herrera and Gueye.